and it doesn't work.
All right, so we're live. Dig the Falls here, Ed Smathers, founder of Dig the Falls, established 2005. This is our third Ask Me Anything live stream, and I do have Carl Bacchus and Donna.
Just Donna?
Yeah, Donna and Donna.
Donna. I'm like Cher, Madonna.
One name. Yeah, I have been murdering. I feel so bad. Got the puppy. Excellent.
Oh, yeah.
I feel so bad. I've been murdering everyone's names, and I mean, poor Stosh. I called him Stosh Rusin for 5 years before he actually finally corrected me and told me it's Russin. So I felt terrible about that.
It happens.
So tonight we're going to be talking about some of the donations that we've received throughout the years. Give big thanks for those. We're going to be talking about next Saturday what we're going to be having going on with Mount Ida. We're going to do a live session at about noon. Hopefully we'll get on right at noon for everyone, so they're not waiting around if anybody's waiting around. And then we'll talk about other things that maybe Donna or Carl want to talk about. So let's start with Donna. Do you want to give yourself a real quick couple of sentences about yourself, just so the crowd knows who you are?
Sure. I'm an accountant by day. I'm a waterfall and photography enthusiast and all the rest of the time. I've completed the New York State 100 Waterfall Challenge. I've completed the Finger Lakes Challenge. A couple of weeks, I'm hoping to get the Hudson Valley Challenge done.
Decent.
I love hiking and being outside. The Adirondacks is my happy place. I write some blogs for Dig the Falls. That's me. I help out any way I can. I
awesome
live
photos and stories.
I try and make the stories fun. That I try and group the trips so that anybody can do them. Go out and have fun and explore some of these areas. I live near Buffalo, Niagara Falls, so I'm on one side of the state, and Ed and everybody else is on the other side. But I've been going everywhere in between.
Excellent.
That's kind of me.
All right, Carl, you want to kind of give a little background real quick?
Yeah, I'm Carl Bacchus. I'm a member of Dig the Falls. God, I think 2 years now or 3 years now? 2 years.
It's been almost 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah, almost 3 years. Yeah. I work at the Narrows Project. That's where I met Ed. Got me involved in Dig the Falls. I'm a member.
You're breaking up, man.
Oh,
I got
flipped.
You're breaking up a little bit. Video too.
Better the other way?
Yeah, your video is breaking up a little bit too.
Weird.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, you're better now.
I start talking.
I think
it's cut out. I'm a board member of Mount Ida and the building manager for the Mount Ida Preservation Hall. Yep. What else we got? And I'm a geologist for the New York State Museum as an Ice Age quaternary geologist. So I specialize in sediments above bedrock.
Sweet.
So
and you're doing some awesome projects with them as well, right?
Yes. Just a lot of mapping this year. COVID kind of stalled a lot of things, so we stayed close to home, but keep mapping the state. And I'm a photographer, so I actually build maps themselves. So I got one behind me on the wall for the state.
Nice.
So.
Beautiful. And like I said, I'm Ed Smathers, founder of Dig the Falls. I do the least amount of work of anybody on the team.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Everyone else is out there authoring books like John Haywood and mapping the state and putting together blogs. So I do all the techie stuff in the background. So but like I said, I wanted to kind of give a shout out for some of the donations that we've received over the years. We've done 2 can and bottle drives so far. The first one we netted a profit of about, I want to say $350. That's still sitting in the bank, because that was around the same time that COVID kind of hit, started getting big. If I'm getting my timing right. And then our second round of cans and bottles that I went and collected, I got 2 car fulls this time. So I had my Ford Flex completely filled. And those are still sitting in my garage because the place where I usually take them is, has been closed. this whole time. So that's still sitting there, but I'm guessing that's got to be $400 or $500 worth of donations as well. So that's all going. All of that is specifically going toward the Narrows Project trails and things like that, cleanups, bags that we buy, the gloves that we get the volunteers, things like that. The buckets, the buckets get expensive after a little while too. We actually need a 4-wheel cart for the Narrows and some of the other projects that we have going on. So we're going to be doing that as well. We also had kind of a fund drive to start funding a scholarship program for Paul Smiths in the Adirondacks. Our goal was to meet about $2,500 to start with, and that would fund a year's worth of scholarships for the college. We haven't quite met that, but we've come about halfway to meeting that. And that was in big part due to Jackie, who runs stress fracture. Basically, she drives around this truck with a trailer, and you get to go in and just smash everything in the trailer, and it's really phenomenal. So she'll come to you, or she'll do things for businesses, like you could get your whole office down there smashing things. It's really cool. Jess actually did it. She loved it. It was a pretty impressive experience, actually. But she stopped by one day and actually brought one of those giant checks, the
lottery checks.
Yeah, exactly. It was really cool. So, so that's still kind of sitting in the coffers, waiting to be kind of put toward that purpose. And then Kara's group, I always forget the exact name of the group, but I'm going to look it up right now because I don't want to be that guy. So, yeah, maybe you'll probably, New York Hikes and Waterfalls Leave Only Footprints. I want to get that right because her group actually purchased a bunch of sweatshirts and T-shirts and stickers, and she was actually able to donate $150 toward our trail building and cleanup efforts. So that is still sitting in the bank, basically just waiting. That all came like mid-pandemic when everything was the worst. So we really haven't been able to do anything with that as well. So we have those monies sitting aside, and then we have some blogs on the website that actually kind of give you a little bit of background of that. And then once we actually start spending the money, we're going to actually update those blogs so everyone knows where that money actually goes to. So
didn't you create an Amazon wish list at one time?
I did, and I can't find the darn thing.
Oh.
It completely disappeared. Amazon updated a bunch of things. So what I need to do is I'm actually going to go back and create that again because there were some firefighting tools, like trenching tools and things that were just phenomenal. So I want to get some of those. I remember
looking at it, and I remember seeing like gloves and like work tools, and I remember seeing the list. For me, that would be easy to do, like to just go buy something and it's either shipped to you or whatever location. Right. But just something like that for people that can't deliver the pop bottles and cans or can't make it out.
Yep.
That's a great way to contribute.
Yeah, and I need to put that back together. I what I'll do is I'll search on the site because I know I did put together a blog about that as well. So so I'll search it again, see if it pops up. If it doesn't, then I'm going to put something like that together again because that was even helpful for myself because then I could just go right to that and say, this is where I got that tool to begin with. Right.
Exactly which one you got.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I've purchased some mattocks over the years. I've purchased a lot of shovels, a lot of rakes. I've got a chainsaw that my dad gave me that I use on the projects. All that stuff. So, and then everything that Carl brings and the rest of the volunteers. So it's always nice to it would be nice to have project specific tools to kind of keep there at all times. Yeah. So I'm not sure how many people will have seen the post that Carl put up about Mount Ida, but Carl, if you want to kind of give a background on Mount Ida and explain what we're going to try to do next weekend?
Yeah, so Mount Ida, we are in toward New York on Congress Street. We actually own the upper 3/4 of the Mount Ida Falls on the Bosco Gorge. So the eventual goal is actually put an overlook deck on top, overlooking the gorge, and then have Dig the Falls put together a nice interpretive sign.
That'd be
It's
awesome.
just history.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have first. That's gonna be down the line. We're restoring an 1869 stone church building that used to be the Free Church of the Ascension. It was actually the church for all the mill workers that were right on the gorge. I mean, there was ones that the waterfall's flowing and the brick wall was right there.
Yep.
And they used hydropower from the actual waterfall to run the factories. And there was, I think, 5 or 6 at one point. I think it's probably more at its peak, but I don't know the exact number off my head. I don't want to just throw numbers out there. But we're trying to restore this building from. It closed. It was really declining in the 90s. It closed in the early 2000s. It was abandoned for 5 years. Started to fall apart. Then Mount Ida Preservation Association was formed, took over the building, and now we've been slowly restoring it. Ed's helped me out on a bunch of things. And actually, the last event Dig the Falls held before COVID was at the Mount Ida Preservation Hall.
Yeah.
At our little dinner we had. So the goal is to take this church that's falling apart, bring it back to its full former glory, and improve it. So we've recently restored, repainted downstairs. We added new lighting, upgrading electrical, upgrading plumbing, trim. Our next big thing is actually going to be the drop ceiling to replace that, which would be great. That's only like 60 years old, so it's a little dingy. But our goal with the Saturday event is to actually have a highlight of what we actually do, what we are. So I don't want to give too much away. But we're going to have our resident historian, Ned Pratt. He's going to give a talk on the stained glass windows, the architecture of the building. And we're just going to have
beautiful.
It's an amazing building.
That's the good side. You can see the A on the front of the building actually there. There's like a little steel frame. That's actually holding the facade of the corner together. Like I said, it's 150 years old. These are the original stones in the building. And as a geologist, normally when you make a rock face, like a stone structure, you want to go with the bedding plane so you can actually see the individual lines. They built it so it's face up, so it's just flaking off. So that's what's happening. It's degrading over time. We actually know exactly where the stones came from, so we actually have a fresh source of stones. But
yeah, I was just going to ask you, do you know where the stones came from?
yeah, there's actually a quarry right up the road where they
okay.
the exact same rocks, so we can match it up.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so we have the source. Actually, a friend of Ed's is going to do the masonry work once we raise the funds. We're actively in a campaign. We have a 5-phase campaign to restore the building. Phase 1 is to repair the masonry on the outside, restore the eaves on the outside, and fix the holes in the roof. We got the holes in the roof mostly fixed. We can't fix the other half until the masonry on the steeple's fixed, because the steeple is the outer face. Structurally, it's fine. It's the fascias coming off and hitting the roof. So there's no point to fix the roof. Then more stones fall off, break it, have to rebuild it. So we're doing it once. We have it sealed right now, but temporarily.
Yep.
But it's getting there. I mean, for being abandoned for at least 5 years, but the sanctuary not getting used for almost 15, the sanctuary is in really good shape. We'll actually be live streaming from inside the sanctuary and inside the building. We'll give a tour, do a talk in the windows. You can see the windows up close. But yeah, there's actually Ed showing the waterfall. The building on top of the waterfall in the photo Ed's showing is actually the apartment building that is now our parking lot. The church, I don't even see it actually in that photo.
This is a really old one because the bridge is still across the bottom of the waterfall, which is something that way later on we're hoping that we can do. Is with the Narrows project, we're hoping to put a bridge across there again to go to what's the park over on the other side?
School Gorge Park, which we actually Mount Ida has a group that's heading the restoration of that park along with the Narrows project. So that we have a whole group. I think right now we have 17 people that are involved in that group through Mount Ida to restore that park, which would be great because that is a treasured asset. But that photo is actually so old you can still see there's a culvert coming down the left side. There's like a second waterfall. That's actually the penstock that runs the hydro turbine. The current hydro turbine.
Yep.
So that's so the goal is this Sunday is really get like introduction to. It'll be myself. Ed will be our essentially kind of like a moderator. The president of the organization, Mike Easterbrook, and then Ned Pratt, and myself will be giving talks and then showing the building, highlighting different things in the building, showing what we're in need of. I mean, especially the volunteers that we always need help with.
Mhm.
And in the spring, we're going to be redoing our garden, having a tree planting and memorial tree to our past members. So that's the next big event after that. And in the summer, there'll be movie nights on the gorge.
Nice. Excellent.
We're hoping to get some food vendors set up so we actually have food, provide that, and then have socially distanced still, even with COVID. You know, we don't know when COVID's going to be really, truly over it. You know, we're actually be, you know, interacting face to face on masks. So we're going to try doing a nice movie night, put a projector screen right over the gorge, and actually be able to.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
Yeah.
So,
Right on the gorge walls, right?
Yeah, right. I wish. I try. No, I found ways to actually set up cables so we can actually put the screen like just over the edge of the gorge.
Awesome. Excellent.
So we can, you know, project onto it and have movie nights and then still be able to like get the community together, and then highlight our building. I thought about projecting inside the building, but the problem is the windows, and I don't want to fasten into the stone.
Yeah.
So that's the best way.
Give a tiny bit of background on the stained glass themselves, because I always found that very interesting.
Can you get the photos from that post up?
Yeah, let me see if I can find that.
Yes. So our windows are, I think the oldest one is 1870, 72, somewhere in that range, because the cornerstone was laid in 1869. It wasn't finished until like 71, and then the first windows were put in. But our masterpiece is the north-facing window, which I want to see which one is that one you can see there in the top. It's behind the plexiglass. Go to our photos, Ed.
Okay, so
that's our profile picture.
Let's see here. I'm going to be kind of jumping through here real quick. So you want just the timelines, or
go to all photos. Go down there. They are. You can see them on the.
This one here.
That's the Ascension, yeah.
Yep.
So that one right there, your fingers on. That's actually one. So that's the Ascension window.
Mm-hmm.
Ned's gonna be giving me a giant. I've got the post ready for the first week of April to talk about that window alone. That is hand painted glass in the center. That thing gets fired in an oven.
Wow.
And it matches Raphael's Raphael's painting from the medieval. It's 1500.
Do you have the information who did the windows?
Yes, Lamb, and he was a contemporary of Tiffany windows.
Okay.
So they were at the same. They were like competitors.
Yeah.
But it depends. Like Tiffany, from what I've gathered, Ned's he's the master of this stuff. I love glass blowing, and Netflix is a great series called Blown Away about it. They have competitions to make glass.
Wow.
Side note, great show. But I guess like the biggest thing originally is that they had the glass and they would just paint on it and then fire it. So Tiffany and Lamb figured out how to actually mold the glass and bend the glass to make it look like actual like pattern instead of actually painting it. So that's actually right. The one that Ed's got up is one of the original windows of the hall. So that one's over 150 years old.
That's beautiful.
And all the glass except for two windows out of the I think we had 25 stained glass upstairs, and we have some smaller stained glass downstairs, but it's not as fancy as those. We only have two that are actually really damaged, but we have a few that are in danger, and we're trying everything we can to preserve it so nothing happens to it. But the problem is over time it waves. So instead of being a flat window, it actually shuts it bend from its own weight. So. Yep.
And then you also in the steeple, you also have some of the original church bells as well, right?
Yes, and the video, there's like a video on that on the website.
Is there? Okay, yeah, I won't pull that up, but you know, if anybody wants,
at least.
Yeah.
So all of our bell, pretty much everything in the building was made within the city of Troy.
Yep.
So that's our masterpiece window, as we call it. That's the main one. I'm trying to get stickers made of that one.
Yeah, you should definitely. That'd look great. Actually, let me go back. Right here. Hemutza.
That's hand-painted glass.
That's incredible. Wow.
In the center. And that's a memorial window to one of the founding members of the church.
Okay.
That's what the ribbon shows. It says at the bottom. It's like 1862.
See if I can find.
You can see the damage in the steeple in the one photo there.
Okay. Yeah, and some of the damage that's going to be repaired very soon by Brendan Jeffer. So yeah, here we go. Actually, here's some of the church bells.
Yeah,
so
we have our 9, and these are Manili bells. These are actually cast in West Troy, which is now Waterfall. But these are very famous. These are very old, and they still ring just as well as they did in the first day. I have to go through and clean the poop off once in a while. 'Cause but they're still using the original mechanisms to ring them. Everything still runs. But the only thing that bell all the way at the top, the big one, we can't ring right now. That actually vibrated enough to knock stones off the side of the steeple.
Jeez.
It's so big when it rings, it actually shakes the whole steeple.
That's incredible. Wow.
Yeah, it's a monster. I've never heard it ring, so it's a monster.
It's amazing that. How long did you say the building was empty?
About 5. I mean, it was. They stopped having real services in the early 2000s, but it was abandoned for at least 5 years.
You know, that the stained glass is still there. The bells are still there.
Yeah.
That people didn't find their way in there and start taking some of that stuff, as usually happens.
Right.
So actually, the first president of Mount Ida Preservation Association is the great-grandson, I think it's great-grandson of the first rector of the building. So that's how they got a hold of it, is a reverter clause. So they bought the church for $1.
Ah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was also the diocese, the Episcopalian diocese actually did take a lot of the stuff out of the church. So what's left is really the stained glass windows. I mean, they even took the 28-foot ladder to change the light bulbs out upstairs. So to change light bulbs, we had to get scaffolding now to change light bulbs. But yeah, I mean, the pulpit was taken and a lot of things. I mean, it always happens anytime a church closes. The valuable stuff goes. Like Saint. Oh God, what's Saint Lawrence? No, there's a church in downtown Troy just got torn down like 2 weeks ago, and it was one of the best examples of everything get ripped out, but then the architecture still left behind, and that was torn down. God, I get to look this up.
Yeah. So the purpose that we're talking about here is, we're actually this Saturday we're going to get Carl and the board of Mount Ida up on live, just like what we're doing right now, and we're going to get them talking about the actual church and the falls literally right behind the church itself, and the purpose of the falls, and then talk about stained glass, talk about the bells, the structure, everything. Carl, you said that is it Dan or Ned that knows Ned? Sorry, I apologize. That knows the history very well. So it's going to be interesting to hear him actually talk about the building too.
Yep. That is, yeah. He's our resident know-how and everything with the
nice
historic art. He's a member of the Historic Society of Historic Architects, which actually their logo is the gas holder building in downtown Troy.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, it's a national organization, so it's that's a cool thing to learn.
Yeah, definitely. So sooner or later we'll have to get Joe Durkin on here too, because he's somewhat of a history buff for the area as well. So having both of them on at the same time would be very interesting.
That could be a long conversation though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So Donna.
Yes.
Long time no see.
I know.
We did have you on last week, right?
Not last week. I think the week before.
The week before. Have you done any hiking since?
We did. The last time we were on, Kara and I were talking because we're actually in the same area.
Oh,
that
yeah.
I had 2 more hikes to do for the Western New York Hiking Challenge.
Cool.
So we did those 2, Boyce Hill State Forest and Hunter's Creek, which are both on the Finger Lakes Trail. Hunter's Creek actually has one of the branches, the Conservation Trail. We went and did those. It was a very strenuous, almost 8 miles.
Wow, really? Nice.
Yeah, exhausting. In the snow, and it was fun though. I have 1 more left to do all 16, which is Holland Ravines. And I don't know if we're going to be able to make it because the winter challenge closes this Saturday, but starting Sunday is the regular Western New York Hiking Challenge. So it goes from March 21st through December 19th through Outside Chronicles. So it's kind of the same structure as last summer, where they have 4 different groups of trails and you have to do 5 of your choosing in each group. And I think there's 2 or 3 bonuses, and they have like an ultra option this year. And they're donating all the funds. I know one of them is the Finger Lakes Trail, and I think the other one might be the Western New York Land Conservancy.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that, but they donate all the funds. I think the first year they donated like $14,000.
November.
Yeah, like they donated a lot of money, and it's just like $20 to register. And I know there's some family options. I think there's like some Boy Scout, Girl Scout options, but it's getting out, it's hiking, exploring some of these trails that you might never have been to, and the money goes to a great cause.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
And if anybody's not familiar with those, if you just Google Outside Chronicles, you'll pull up all the social pages and everything for those. He has just some fantastic videos out there, and the hiking challenges are awesome. Carl says they're for dogs too.
Yes, there is a dog option. Some of the trails don't allow dogs, but like he has it noted on the list and all that stuff. But Mike Radomski is the one who organized it. So, my husband and I did.
He's awesome.
Oh yeah, great videos and just everything he puts together. Like it's just incredible. Yeah. And we have a great resource in him. It takes every opportunity he can to educate people. As far as a leave no trace and hiking safety and equipment and all that kind of stuff. So it's been great to be able to find it, and I think we're going to be signing up for this one again. So this will be our 4th hiking challenge with it.
Oh, nice.
So we did the very first one, the very first winter, and then this winter. So we're probably going to sign up again for it. But yeah, so we did those 2 hikes. Nothing really planned for now, but the beginning of April, we're heading down to the Hudson Valley.
Oh, good.
Hoping to get the Hudson Valley Waterfalls done so I can get that patch.
So I may be speaking out of turn here because I was hoping John would be on tonight, but John would know better than me. But I think that challenge might be being either altered or going away. Yeah. So I'm not sure. So anybody that is on their way to getting that patch, definitely push for it. Keep going, because it's definitely still going to be one of those limited edition ones. It sounds like. Yeah. So. Yeah.
I'm excited about that one. And we've only been down there a couple times. Like when we did the New York State 100, we were down there for a few of them. And I just don't get down there enough. So we're just taking the opportunity and going down there for a few days and do some hiking and check out some waterfalls and make my plans.
And the Hudson Valley in general is just such a nice area. Just kind of relax and chill, depending on which areas you go to. But almost every town you go to, you're going to find like a little shop and some great diners to go to. So.
Oh yeah. The mom and pop diners are the best.
Oh man, fantastic. Absolutely. So, I actually, was it yesterday? Gosh, this week is, already felt too long. I mentioned at the beginning I mentioned at the beginning here, I was up at 2:00 this morning. And then today's Tuesday, right?
Today's Tuesday.
so
for a few more hours.
So yesterday I got up at 5. I drove to Potsdam. Did my work there that I needed to do. I was installing instrument at Skidmore. Did my work, drove back, and it was 3 degrees on the way up there, by the way. So it was darn cold in the Adirondacks yesterday. But I came back home at I think 7:30 at night. Got to sleep at like 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then got back up at 2. So it's been an interesting couple of days. But I took the scenic route home. It added 5 minutes to my route, so it really didn't do anything to my drive time. But I got to drive down through all the little tiny towns and stuff, and see a lot of the lakes and ponds that I hadn't seen until then, and it gave me a lot of ideas of where I could take the kids, and a lot of hiking trails and trailheads that I passed that I really want to jump on, even with all the snow.
Well, we actually ordered a pop-up camper this weekend. We're probably going to be getting
Really?
it in, yeah, we're probably going to be
Wow.
getting it in May. So I'm already
So no
looking. Well, no, we traded in the van, and we now got a Pathfinder.
Wow,
So
excellent.
yeah, we have a
Wow, okay.
Pathfinder
Very
with
cool.
like a factory installed hitch and all that stuff. So
Nice.
we were heading in the direction like we
Mhm,
needed a 4-wheel drive and get that hitch so we can get a
mhm.
camper and go back up to the Adirondacks because I can just go. I wish I lived closer, but I think if I did, I wouldn't appreciate it as much as I do.
Yeah,
It's like because I live so close to Niagara Falls, and it's like,
yeah.
So
We were
I
we were talking
don't
about
want
that
it
a
to
couple
lose its
episodes ago.
magic. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
want it to lose its magic.
yeah,
But I want to go up there more. And given how far away we are, like we have to stay overnight and it gets expensive.
yeah.
So we wanted to get back into camping. So we ordered a pop-up this weekend, probably get it in May sometime.
Nice.
So went online and was looking for some campgrounds that we can go to.
Yeah.
And we booked one in Wilmington Notch.
Ooh. Is it Wilmington Notch Campground or is it
Yes, Wilmington Notch Campground.
Oh,
It's
that one
actually
is so
like
cool.
where like Wilmington Flume is.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so that's where we're going to be staying.
When you're at the campground itself, if you just walk straight back from the road,
yes,
you'll get to Wilmington Notch Falls. I mean, it's
that's what I was reading some of the reviews
Yeah.
on. Like it looked gorgeous.
Yeah.
So like, let's do it.
Yeah.
So my goal is to knock some more off for the Adirondack 50. So we've got to make some plans.
Definitely. We've stayed there, and we've also stayed at the KOA. That's like literally.
That's what I thought you guys did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought you guys did last summer, right?
Yeah. But It was actually like fall, I think, because I think it snowed while we were there actually.
Oh, jeez.
But it's one of those places where like KOA is great for convenience. It's a little more expensive, but like the state campground right there is just such a nice little spot. You just kind of set up and you can go anywhere you want. It's great.
Yeah, that's what we're looking forward to. And you were saying it was snowing. It was, I think, 2013 when my husband took the 3 boys and they stayed at Buck Pond, which is another state campground.
Okay.
And they were there like July, August, and they woke up to frost. So,
oh wow! Excellent.
So for you saying that there was snow, like
yeah,
yep, there would be.
And to put it into perspective, it's not like we were roughing it. We had one of the cabins because like with a 5-year-old and 2 3-year-olds, it's like you
need solid walls.
Yes. Oh yes. We don't need them attacking a bear, so we just
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. I mean, like I said, I could go up there all the time. Like just everywhere I look, I love everything about it up there, and we're looking forward to get back into camping, and we can go at the strike of noon on a Friday and head up and not have to worry about trying to find some lodging or whatever. And it's gonna be fun. Well, plus, where we are, like we have Letchworth, we have Allegheny, we have the Finger Lakes right near us, so we have a lot of options. But
a million different spots. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's funny. I mentioned the van, but the reason why I mentioned it is because when we were at the KOA, just so happened, Jess, my wife, she's for anybody that's watching that doesn't know, she's a wedding photographer. So we were driving out of the KOA the one day and happened to see this really nice van that had been all decked out, kind of van lifestyle.
Oh, yeah.
And it was one of her former couples that she had just shot their wedding.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, so it worked out well. So we had him over that night and at the campfire, and we talked him up about the van and about different things they're doing, and how she at the time the girl was leaving her job at the time, and he could kind of work anywhere he wanted. So like it kind of worked out. Like he's a software dude. So
that's awesome.
He's retrofitting all the van with like solar panels, and basically they built the van themselves, basically. So
That's very cool.
Yeah, very cool.
I don't know if I could do it, but I'll respect people that do.
Oh, absolutely. And honestly, Jess and I have talked about it a couple of times, like, hey, why not, drive around the country with the kids? It'd be kind of fun,
Yeah.
It'd be a nightmare, but a good nightmare, I guess.
Yeah. Think of the memories you would create.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's what we like doing. It's getting out and just doing stuff with the kids. I mean, my youngest is 15, our oldest is 21, and we have a 20-year-old. So they'll be working this summer and all that stuff. So they really won't be able to go with us. But while we still have the 15-year-old, it's like, yeah, you're going with us.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
As much as they kind of complain about going, I know they love it. They do have a great time.
Yeah.
And it's just get out there and enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely.
Gotta make the time to do it, put the effort in, and
and honestly, like, as bad as the timing is, it's actually really great timing as well, because everyone seems to be vacationing right now, but they're vacationing close. And getting out to the campgrounds, getting out to the cabins and things like that, it's actually perfect timing for stuff like that right now.
Yeah.
Some of the trails that we went on that we normally would see a lot of people actually wound up being pretty clear, and the people that we did see actually seemed a lot more friendly, if that makes sense.
It does. Well, because we took a few trips last year, like we stayed within New York, but like when the Adirondacks and that whole area opened back up, like July and August, like we headed up to Malone in July. And the waterfalls that we hit up there, the trails that we went on, like they were really pretty empty.
Yeah.
And, there might be like a car or two parked there, but that was it. There really weren't that many people out there. But the times that we did run into people, like it was great chatting with people. And I know I had talked to a few people about doing the challenge and where we were going and just that kind of stuff. So I don't think we've ever run into somebody that has not been friendly. But
no, you won't get a head nod sometimes or a hi, but like nobody's like outwardly like.
Yeah, they're just not like outright ignoring you.
Yeah.
So, we haven't had any bad experiences like that. Yeah. So
I will take this opportunity, since you mentioned that, near the waterfalls are pretty clear. A lot of the high peaks are still getting mobbed by people, even though they're still pretty well snowed in or iced up.
Oh my gosh.
So like, for anybody that's looking for something outside of high peaks action, John Haywood put together a really nice Adirondack 50 waterfall challenge. And then alongside that, there's the New York State Waterfall Challenge that does 100 waterfalls across the state, which is separate. And then the Finger Lakes Challenge and the Hudson Valley Challenge. So, all of them have books associated with them with, they've got QR codes in there, parking, driving, trailhead information, photos. And all you have to do is just search John Haywood on Amazon and find those, and it keeps you away from all those crowded high peaks. So,
yes,
and depending on where you are in the state, you may want to pick up the guides just to, just for family fun for a day or two over the weekend.
That's why I see a lot of people post like, oh, I'm going to this area. What waterfalls are around the area? Yeah. And like you don't know really what's close by, and you look at that book and you'll see the maps in there, so you kind of get an idea like really what is included in a general area. And I know some of John's books, I have the Hudson Valley, I have the Finger Lakes and the Adirondack 50, but he has like the maps by county, so you can kind of see what's all there. And I think they're laid out really well. They're easy to read and interpret where things are, but people just don't know what's out there. So I always kind of direct them like, check the map at Dig the Falls or go look at this book. And I've been updating that quite a bit lately. And I'm sure you guys saw that the site was down for like a week, and I had tons of trouble. So it was a nightmare for me. But, me and Kara actually spoke over the weekend, and basically, her thought process is exactly where we're trying to go, whereas we need to get more of those pins on the map.
literally, if you go to the site, you can actually just search, say Warren County or Albany County, and it will pull up those waterfalls in Albany County or Warren County.
Yeah.
Even though they're not showing up as pins on the map, because what happens is we literally have to manually go in. So I'll back up a little bit. We uploaded 3,000 locations or 3,000 pages to the website. So we have 3,000 locations. Several hundred of those were private, so we can't actually publish those publicly. So nobody will ever see those pages other than the admins of the site. So those other, say, 2,000 or so pages, we've gotten 700 or 800 of them actually place marked on the map. The other, say, a little over 1,000 still need to manually be placed inside that map, because just the way that the back end of the website works and how unfortunately I set it up. So, so that being said, if you go to the site itself and go into the search bar, you're going to be able to search either Albany County or Warsaw, New York, or just put Warsaw or, Schuylerville or whatever you want to put. And it will pull up any waterfalls that are associated, because what we tried very hard to do was to have the town, the county, there's a town, a village, I believe we also tried to include, plus any waterways. So if you know the waterway that it's located on, you can look up all of those, and those will pop up in the search results for you in list form. So
that's great.
Yeah, so it gives you, or if you want to be silly and look up Buttermilk Falls and find all 37 of them.
Yes, how many are there?
It's Buttermilk Falls, High Falls, Middle Falls, Rainbow Falls. Another one.
Yeah, when I started doing the 100 waterfalls, it was with your book. And that's what I looked at. 'Cause you had the town, you had the village, you had the waterway. And so I'm trying to look at different things, it was easy to find that. So to have that information, right there on the website.
Yeah.
Great addition.
Yeah. I love being able to look at a map and see dots, and unfortunately we're just, with everything that's gone on with the team and with pandemic and everything else, we just haven't gotten to the point where a year ago we would have said, yes, we'll have all of these, map markers in place and be done. But unfortunately that things got kind of pushed off. So moving forward, I'm in a process of updating the template. So the template, it will be all brand new. It'll have a lot of different functionalities that the current one has, but it'll also have a bunch more that it doesn't. So I'm kind of excited to get that kind of put in place as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I've been having a lot of troubles with that as well, but but such as running a website, I guess. So,
yes.
But I'm hoping sooner or later, Carl, with all of his map making abilities and experience, can really kind of up our game as far as kind of leveling up. So
it's getting the online stuff is the getting it to work, not just on your computer, but then to work off of a server in a cloud. It's the pain.
Yeah.
And that's what I see you having, especially with website crashing. It's a pain to deal with.
Absolutely. So we're eventually hoping that, we'll have a whole separate service that, will, if we use ArcGIS, I'm hoping we have something similar to that, some kind of GIS software that we can actually pull in to kind of piggyback off the website and vice versa. So it'll be a lot easier for people to use, when it comes to the map itself. And I forget exactly. Originally, Carl, I think we met because of Burden Pond, right?
Yes, because the Narrows.
Yeah, that's right. And then
because no one was getting back to me, because sometimes it's John.
Yeah. So we went back and forth a couple of times, and we wound up actually creating a pretty good friendship because your knowledge of the map, your knowledge of the Burden Pond and that entire area was just so very, very helpful. And then but ultimately I think where your strength lies is where our team's weakness was where we were the weakest, basically, and that's the cartography. It's like, getting the map making taken care of. So I'm hoping that moving forward, that'll really, up our game quite a bit.
Yeah, like you use OpenStreetMap as your base map, which is actually anyone can edit.
Yeah.
Fun fact. So I've been making sure I've been taking care of like Burden Pond and the Narrows and this area, making sure it's really well taken care of. That's the thing, is like this can be done remotely. At least the base map, not the waterfalls themselves, but like base maps especially are very helpful. Like you could look on, like, I'm just gonna throw the Ithaca area because that's my field mapping area when I do all my work.
Yep.
Because mapping Tompkins County, I can use your base map and like, oh look, here's all these preserves with all these trails, the red lines. So you can also use the map, your waterfall map, not just for waterfalls, but also for like walking trails. Like, I'm not sure if Lick Brook Falls is in here. I'm gonna double check.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. I'm actually pretty impressed with OpenStreetMaps, how much they have on there. I have seen some issues with the map, but for the most part, I mean, it's pretty well detailed.
Yeah, I mean, if you know things but in an area that are wrong, I'll be happy to fix them because that takes 2 seconds. I've been working on like the RPI Tech Park trails.
Yeah,
I think the waterfalls are in here for that. That's something I got to check at some point. But
yeah, one of the local preserves, they had, so they had 3 waterfalls listed, I think, on OpenStreetMaps, and I found, I think, a total of 15 in the preserve, and these aren't like inconsequential drops. These are anything from 10 foot up drops that were completely left off the map. So and I know Russell Dunn had written up the preserve pretty well, but even he missed several of the waterfalls. So
I mean, do you have like one thing I was trying to look on your website is like, what do you deem? Do you guys have like certain things? What do you deem as a waterfall, and what don't you deem as a waterfall?
That's actually a great point. We actually do have a set of criteria that we call out. It's based a little bit off, or a lot off, of what Scott Ensminger started off with. He runs fallsguy.com in Eastern New York. He has the biggest Eastern New York waterfall survey.
Western New York.
Sorry. Yes, Western New York. Thank you.
Western New York.
The 2 o'clock brain.
I was just thinking it's 2 a.m.
So yeah, in Western New York. But yeah, I mean, he set me straight really quick as far as like he's a straightforward dude. He pulls no punches. Basically what he says is it's got to be at least 5 foot high. It can't be seasonal. And what I forget what the other criteria is, but for us, it's 5 feet high, can't be seasonal, and has to have a name. The only thing that kind of trumps that is that, and it can't be man-made. Things that trump that are historical topographical maps, or just historical information in general. So, like there are some waterfalls that we have listed that like, they might flow 10 days out of the year, but they historically have been given a name for, dating back 100, 150 years. So, they count as a waterfall. But in general, for a waterfall, say we came across a brand new one that no one ever saw, it would have to meet the criteria, 5 feet high, a non-seasonal, and be not
natural,
man-made.
not man-made.
Natural. Thank you. So as long as it met those 3 basic criteria, it would be added to the map as a new location. So hopefully that answered your question and kind of a
that's the thing. It's like, I see more waterfalls than there's the challenges, but I see waterfalls that aren't on the map because I traverse state land a lot.
Yeah, right.
So I'll find creeks that there's waterfalls falling that I know they're, maybe the ceiling in here. They're tall, but they're not on there, but they're also not named.
Yeah.
Because they're like especially where is it? I think it's called the Turkey Hill State Forest.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yep.
And I've been way up in the woods there, and there's waterfalls. But I mean, this is like late summer or late spring, early summer, so they're probably flowing stuff from snowmelt.
Okay.
And the water table dropping, but
yeah,
I know that they're.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, what we've done in those cases is we've marked them as possible locations, and then we'll get a secondary or third point of information, and say, yeah, I mean, midsummer, it's still flowing. It's technically a waterfall. Or we'll come across, oh yeah, geez, here's this postcard that matches up, with the actual kind of look of the waterfall and the location. It's there. So, we've done that a couple times in the past. I think probably the most aggravating situation that we have right now is we probably have 100 or 200 locations that we know that the waterfall exists. We have a picture of the waterfall. We know of the general area, whether it be a township or a county, but we have no idea where the location is. So so we don't know the waterway. We don't know so it's great. But I mean, if you could think of either the Finger Lakes or even the Southern Tier, where, yeah, you're given a town, but there's, 700 different gullies to look in to try to find a location that matches up to that waterfall photo. So, those are probably some of our most aggravating situations. But if you find any that you think might match that criteria, definitely put them in. Give me the coordinates, and what we do is we wind up, since you would be the originator, we've got kind of a originator, first source, second source, and third source on our website right now. So, the originator always stays the originator, and then we look up different sources and try to cite them as we go along. So you would be the originator for those locations. So, and that goes for literally, anybody that comes to us with information. So if, even people from the Digging Falls Waterfall Group, we've had a lot of people give us information. Most times it turns out to be either the waterfall doesn't meet the criteria, or it's one that we already have on our list, but it was private. But we still take that into account, that they're bringing information to us, and if it's new information, they go into the contributor categories, or sources categories. So yeah, send the information to us. We'll take it. So, and if it's
done.
Yeah, and if it's on private, let us know, because then obviously we will never post that, because that's one thing we're very, very heavy on, is never ever posting like private, non-accessible waterfalls. So
yeah, I use them for bedrock outcrop locations for the bedrock maps I make. So
yeah,
always good. Waterfalls are a great point to have on the map, because that's it. Oh, that's bedrock. Because I don't know of many waterfalls that are over sediment that at least are 5 feet high. If they are, I need to know about them.
Yeah. I think Holly Falls is probably like one of the only ones that I can think of. But that one's like kind of like a semi not natural. It's almost kind of man-made. I think they read Holly Falls. It's out in Western New York. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think, Donna, you've been there, right?
Yes, I have been there.
Yeah. Like
I've been there a couple times.
It's almost like, when you look at it, it's almost like it's flowing over a kind of, it looks like gravel. Kind of.
Yeah,
like,
it's a kind of sandstone.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation.
Yeah, I'm thinking like Medina sandstone.
It's a red sandstone, it looks like.
Yes, it's very red. But also like some of it, because it's right next to the Erie Canal.
Yeah.
So that's kind of part of it. Yeah. But yeah,
it's a really weird spot. Yeah.
Yeah, you would never expect where it is, but I don't remember if it was in your book, Ed, or if I read it somewhere else. It's kind of not overflow from the canal, but it's kind of connected to the canal in a way.
Yeah.
It's probably diverted water, so you get a higher rate of water coming over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
probably what it is, because
Yeah.
it really is like a stone's throw from the canal.
Yeah.
Like if you follow it all the way up. So
yeah, Scott Ensminger actually added that waterfall, 'cause he obviously did the western portion of that book. So I wouldn't doubt if that tidbit of information was in the original Waterfalls of New York book.
I think it is. I mean, they made a nice little park out of there. I mean, Holly is one of those old towns, so it has a really nice main street, and it's a cute little park, picnic shelter, and there's some minor hiking trails and stuff like that. But yeah, it's beautiful, and it's open all year.
Yep.
So you get that frozen look to it, and
absolutely.
Still flows in the summer.
Great spot to picnic. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, the one time we went, there was a little wedding there too. So.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's a great spot.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, and not too far from there is Clarendon Falls.
Yes. Yep. That's a good spot too.
Yeah, we were just there Sunday, and it was flowing. It was flowing really well.
Okay, I was wondering.
Really well.
I think the couple of times I've gone there, it's been little to nothing.
It really dries up in the summer.
Yeah.
Because I think the first time I went there, like it was dry. It's like, which I didn't expect. But then we went other times, and like there's a little bit flowing, and it was when we went and ordered the trailer, the pop-up. We were driving by that way, and like, oh, let's go by Clarendon, and it was flowing really, really well.
Oh, nice.
So
excellent.
we ended up going back Sunday and taking some pictures. So
excellent.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
I think some
that
bright sunlight, but it was still beautiful.
Yeah, you could make with that, especially with all the trees that kind of surround it. So
yeah.
I think my biggest frustration when I was photographing for that book was that I'd have to say 20% of the waterfalls that I came up to the first time were completely empty, like nothing. Even like at Christmas Sanctuary, that had nothing. John Boyd Thatcher had nothing. And then I don't know if you remember the photo from the book, but I got really lucky that we had like 3 days of torrential rain, and I got that dynamite shot of John Boyd Thatcher. I think it was Minot Falls, and then I believe it was either the same day or the same weekend, I got Christmas Sanctuary as well. And then, it was insane. So, but
I know when we went to John Boyd Thatcher, because I kept looking at your picture of like, oh, this is going to be great. Yeah. And we went there, and of course, like it was towards the end of August, and it was a dry summer, and it's like, there's nothing.
Yeah, there's like a drip.
It was just like,
yeah.
Well, it still counts because I was here. But it's like,
could you imagine if we made you get picture of water?
Oh. I mean, the rocks were wet, but there was nothing flowing. And it's like, I just remember like, because we walked down that trail and we're underneath it, and it's like,
it's a beautiful trail too. It's like such a phenomenal
beautiful
trail.
Yeah.
So did you know that there's a portion like not mine lot, but if you go down to the next one, like if you look under, there's water that kind of flows from the very base, and like there's kind of like that tiny, so there's like this little like stream flowing from the base of the waterfall, right? And you can see kind of like a little tiny hole, like right there that the water comes from. There's people that have actually, like spelunkers, that have actually crawled into that, like that spot, like 100 feet back. Like, like there's no way in hell, like, because like you'd be on your stomach the entire time. Like
I would be terrified.
No, there's no way I do that. No way.
No, I think it was at Thatcher too, where like the rock climbers, and I think it's there that they have the part like you need to fit through this crevice or don't go. Like they have that, like when you ride a roller coaster, the height requirement. They have like that rock requirement. Like if you can't fit through here, don't go. I was like, I don't even want to attempt. I don't want to go anywhere where I need to be that tiny. Like, no, not for me.
I'm
that
starting
would
to get
scare me.
I'm starting to get the dad bod, so I have to start going to those places to kind of push me to.
Oh, yeah.
But
Some of them doesn't matter. Even in my 20s, I still would have not been through there. It's like, oh my gosh, it's crazy, crazy.
Yeah, I think
But
I think that was the biggest kind of downside of doing that book, though, is because I think I told you I did all of those because it was over 100 locations. And I think I did them within 3 months. I think.
yeah, it was a crazy short time.
Yeah,
I remember
so
you saying
yeah,
that.
it was really nuts. So, and that's after visiting some of the places 3, 4, 5 times. So
Wow.
I went to Christmas Sanctuary 5 times before I actually got the water actually
Wow.
flowing. Yeah, and I think I went to Akron Falls twice, and I still didn't get any
Akron,
waterfall.
yeah,
Yeah,
Akron gets pretty low in the
yeah,
summer. It
yeah,
really does. And,
yeah.
you know,
Not is it Tinker Falls? But yeah,
yeah,
Tinker Falls.
Tinker
That
gets
one.
kind of dry.
Barely anything on that one. I get Tinker and Pixley kind of mixed up, but
Oh,
Pixley
yeah.
always has
Yeah,
flow.
Pixley.
Yeah,
Pixley looks really good.
yeah. So, but yeah, so that was the biggest drawback, and obviously doing all the mileage on the Honda Civic.
Yeah,
So
that's what it was like first for me. Some of those locations, like, when we went to Thatcher, and granted, I can go back because with my son going to school in Massachusetts, we can drive by there again,
yeah,
and just an excuse to go out there again.
oh, of
But it's
course,
like, it's dry. It's like, I guess we got to go back. And I know we walked another trail and there was a little bit, but it's like, yeah, like it's a really dry summer.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
nothing we can do.
No,
Nothing we
it's
can do, but
stand at the top and enjoy. Basically, is all you can do.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
beautiful spot, though. I mean, just the area alone, just driving around in the area is really
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal. And
Is
Carl,
it?
have you been there?
Where?
Tinker Falls?
I think it was Pixley, the one that's Hanging Valley out near Tully.
Yeah, that's Pixley.
Okay, that's the only one I've been out to out that way.
Okay. Tinker's is actually a really cool area too. There's a lot of like it's typical kind of Finger Lakes kind of, valleys and, side cloves and everything. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I get out there more often. I always find things going on here, and I never get a chance to actually get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the dog, she's not really good with traveling.
Oh, okay.
With the car, she even with give her Benadryl, she still goes like maybe 2 hours, and just you gotta clean up.
Oh, poor girl. Yeah.
Mm.
Boy or girl? Sorry.
Girl.
Okay.
Yeah, she's pissed because it's usually her walk time, so she's mad.
Well, yeah, we're actually going to put an end to it anyway. We're wrapping up pretty well. I was actually going to ask if you guys wanted to give any like shout outs or any kind of last words or anything.
Yeah, I'm going to give a shout out to your bed, Eddie, because you're rarely ever in it, so it's going to be.
Yeah, no, tonight it's going to be very well slept in.
There you go. So you got with everything you're doing for the website, keeping it going, keep everything. You get, everyone appreciates it.
I appreciate.
I bow down to your technical expertise.
The technical is about all I have right now.
You're keeping it going, especially a lot of people relied on it this year. What is it, 3 million visits?
Something stupid like that. Yeah, we've been really kind of going nuts lately. I do have to kind of give a shout out to everyone, including Donna and John, that have put together, and Bobby, Donna, John. You guys did an awesome job as far as putting together a lot of blogs for us, and those blogs got a lot of the attention for the site. You could say we've got 2,500 locations on the website, but those don't draw views. What draw views are the road trips, are the different travel blogs and things like that. And then Matthew actually put together a really nice blog on the health of streams and the different bugs and plants and everything that live in them. So he did a great job with that as well. I was super psyched to have him kind of contribute. So the technicals, yeah, they make the the website stay there, but they don't do much as far as drawing people in. So
No, but we wouldn't have it without the technical. Like, I'll bow down to you. I'll bow down to you because of that. You know, it's people don't realize what goes behind putting together a website like that.
Yeah.
That they look at it and it's working great and they're finding what they want to find, but it takes all the behind the scenes, you doing what you're doing to get it out there.
I look at it as like a Lamborghini without tires, you know, and you guys are the tires. So
maybe I'm a cup holder. I don't know.
I like it.
No, but I mean, I direct people to the website all the time, but you know, because they want to find this information. And as much as I keep going back and looking at it and looking at the maps and finding different locations, you kind of take that for granted. And being able to get information and see what you want to see, or see something you didn't think about, like to have kind of that intuitiveness to it, that you take it for granted. And to be able to have that resource that people can go to, like you don't know what goes into it. So
well, it's appreciated.
So that's
everything you guys do is thank you very much. So Donna, do you have any shout outs, any parting words that you want to add?
That was my shout out to you. No, but I'll say anybody, like, check out Outside Chronicles, Mike Radomski.
Yes, definitely.
I know he's an Adirondack 46er, but outdoor enthusiast is such an understatement. But everything like he's doing for the Western New York area, highlighting the trails in this area, and some of the places we've gone to have had waterfalls. But everything that he's highlighting in this area, and I know there's over 700 finishers for the winter hiking challenge.
Are there?
And I
really?
know over 700. And I know over 2,000 people registered, and that includes like some family groups. But over 700 people finished. And it's only 16 trails, but you only had 3 months to do them. Yeah. So I can't wait to see like what the final total is, what the donation's going to be.
Yeah.
But it's just,
holy cow.
Yeah. But it's bringing a lot of attention to the resources that we have here in the Western New York area. And the comments I see the most are people like, oh, I didn't know about this. I didn't know about this. Or it's kind of been that saving grace for that mental change to get outside and do things and give yourself that break and enjoy things. So I'll shout out Outside Chronicles.
Perfect.
Let's see, I have a sticker buried here somewhere. There's my winter hiking challenge.
Awesome.
Might be on my other water bottle, but we haven't got our patches yet. They'll be coming soon. But yeah, that'll be my shout out.
Wow, that's actually a good way to end the show is with Mike Radomski's Outside Chronicles. You know, I think the next show we'll shout out some of our channel partners, but I think that's great. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Guys, I really appreciate your time. I'm going to end the broadcast, and anybody that wants to watch it, it's going to be it has been placed on YouTube, and it will remain on Facebook as well. So thanks a lot.
Awesome.